Hey everybody, it's Mike Frieder here with On-Call Compliance Solutions, and I'm back with another compliance tip of the week. Today we're talking about DFARS, NIST SP 800-171, and CMMC. Cloud bill shock. Yikes. Hidden costs that can derail your journey to compliance and preparing for CMMC certification. So hey, if you're a defense contractor who's feeling overwhelmed, tired, and alone, trying to understand all this DFARS, NIST SP 800-171, and CMMC compliance stuff, I've got news for you. You've found your home here at On-Call Compliance Solutions, where we can help you transform into your company's on-call compliance hero. And if it's been a while, or maybe you're one of the hundreds of thousands of people who view our channel every month but haven't subscribed yet, smash that subscribe button. It's about time. Let's jump into it. Okay, everybody, today we're talking about one of those sneaky, hair-pulling, budget-busting compliance challenges that most defense contractors never see coming until it's too late. Cloud bill shock. Yep, it's real. There's even a 12-step program. And if you're not planning for it properly, it could wreck your budget, delay your CMMC certification, and turn your FedRAMP-friendly cloud dreams into a budget parking lot nightmare, freezing your company's efforts to get compliant while upper management scratches their head and wonders what on earth happened. Let's paint a picture. So, you migrate to a cloud platform thinking, great, it's FedRAMP moderate or higher, box checked, mission accomplished. But then, you realize you need additional logging. You need SIEM integration. You need backups. You need licensing. Oh, and an expensive, complex, lengthy migration that somehow got overlooked and starts going over budget. Suddenly, your monthly bill looks like the national debt, and you haven't even scheduled your C3PAO assessment yet. Don't even talk to me about pricing on that. Sound familiar? Well, let's break it down, because there are three big hidden cost traps in CMMC cloud compliance most contractors fail to plan for if they're doing it on their own. Number one, the licensing layer cake. That Office 365 GCC High license, well, it might not be so cheap because you might not just need a GCC High license. You might need mobility and security. You might need all kinds of different licenses that go along with that to properly secure the system. Every company is different, and every company needs a different matrix of licensing. It all depends on how you're using it. Need endpoint protection? Add another license. Need centralized logging and long-term storage? That's another tier of licensing. Now, multiply it by user, by device, by system, and storage limits. Boom. Surprise invoice. This is why it always helps to consult someone like On-Call who can actually give you the expertise and years of experience when it comes to licensing cloud products, especially in the Microsoft environment, where they have solutions ready built for DFARS, NIST, and CMMC compliance. Here's a tip. Always budget for all compliance functionality, not just base licenses. This is where On-Call's GCC High setup services really save the day, because we build it out to match your CMMC scope from day one, and we understand how to help our clients set a proper scope up front, license correctly up front, and budget correctly so we can actually eliminate surprises. I gotta tell you, I can't count the number of people who come to us for migration help, and we look at the licensing they've selected, and we go, hey, that's great, but that licensing either isn't enough for your organization, or doesn't match your CUI flow and all the people CUI touches, or maybe you just don't even have all of the right licensing selected and it's going to be more money. This is one of those areas where I really recommend working with a Microsoft partner like On-Call who can help with this, especially, again, I just kind of use ourselves as an example. We've put hundreds of people into that environment. Now, number two, compliance is not convenience. Huge misnomer. Here's the kicker. Not all cloud services are FedRAMP equivalent. Even if they look shiny, and my favorite, tout their security such as SOC 2, a very popular thing when it comes to the security pages on these cloud providers, or even HIPAA. Sorry, those don't work in defense. It's just not going to cut it. That's not what you need. Let's say you use Salesforce. A great CRM meets a lot of security checkboxes, right? But now we have to look at the idea that Salesforce actually comes in a bunch of different flavors and licenses, and each one's a different price. Do you need Salesforce? Do you need Salesforce for government? Or do you need Salesforce Government Plus? Who even knew that existed? But it does. And it turns out you might need it if you're in the defense industry. And most cloud solutions are stacked in tiers like this that you might not even know to ask for. So if it's not the right compliance system, guess what? You just failed legal requirements such as DFARS 7010 and putting your company in jeopardy, or worse, might even be failing for ITAR compliance, which carries huge fines and even potentially jail time. Yuck. Worse, now you are in for a surprise. Expensive emergency migrations to the right compliance service, and believe me, they never come at a convenient time. And in case you're wondering, very few defense contractors are not putting CUI into their sales and CRM systems, just as an example. Based on what we have found, working with nearly 1,000 of them so far, It's a tough situation, no doubt, but it can get a lot tougher if you don't get the solution right the first time. And that's something that we're huge on. It's why we always start with a gap analysis and solution design, where we are holistically designing the solution, laying out the policies, giving you the standard operating procedures, everything you need, and we do it with you, okay? So again, we're gonna bring everything to the table, we're gonna work together, and we're gonna build it out with you so that you've got the whole picture and we can actually create a real budget around this. I don't know any other company that does this. As a matter of fact, one of our pet peeves is there are so many companies who only solve a part of this problem and then leave you hanging. For instance, there's lots and lots and lots and lots of compliant solutions out there. Good for them, they're covering their butt, but the reality is a compliant solution that you buy doesn't make your company compliant. And this is one of those places where on-call truly shines. We actually attack the real problem, which is you and your company need to be compliant, not that you just need to use a compliant solution. I mean, with CMMC certifications right now having over a 60% fail rate, you gotta get this right. Otherwise it's expensive, and honestly, worse than expensive, it's time consuming to go back through this process over and over again because you didn't scope it and get it right the first time. Again, this is the place where on-call really outshines everybody. We've seen this before more times than we can count, and it leads to costly last-minute migrations when it's too late and the audit window is approaching. That's why our compliance gap analysis digs deep into your stack and helps avoid these last-minute scrambles. One of our clients' favorite parts is when we help them to extensively detail out CUI flow and make sure we all understand every system that may store, process, and transmit CUI, and of course, all of the supporting security assets. And we can play a holistic strategy up front, which saves massive time and money getting compliant. Yes, you're going to pay us a little bit of money up front, but at the end of the day, you're going to save so much money, tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, and countless weeks and months of trying to piecemeal something if you do this incorrectly. Again, we've written the playbook on this. Huge win. Number 3, pay per audit surprises. CMMC assessments require audit-ready logs, reports, evidence storage, and often months of retention. Your standard plan might only keep 7 days of logs. Need more? That'll be extra. You might not be bleeding cash now, but the second your auditor asks for 90 days of evidence, boom, your storage bill triples overnight. And again, if that wasn't an anticipated cost, management's gonna be scratching their head wondering what in the world are you doing? So again, whether you're a small business, and we're always watching out for our small businesses, or whether you're a big business, we know your reputation's on the line when it comes to how we're going through and suggesting these solutions. So we want to make sure we give you everything you need up front and we can make great decisions around this. This is where our virtual compliance officer service also really shines. We help you on an ongoing basis once we have the solution to monitor the solutions you're using, to get and maintain compliance, and proactively make suggestions that align with your compliance plan and need for cost effectiveness. And yeah, we hold your feet to the fire to make sure we're making progress. We step in along the way if you're not. You know, to make those CFOs and owners happy and supporting the program. Because let's be honest, for many of you out there who've got a company that's more than 2 or 3 or 5 people, you're gonna need the support. And that's where we really come in. Again, we're focusing on the real problem, which is you getting compliant, as opposed to everybody else who wants to come at you with a compliant solution that's not gonna get your company compliant. It's just gonna do part of the work. Now, real world rescue example. We had a client, 15-person precision machine shop. They got quoted nearly $14,000 in surprise cloud upgrades. That's just the upgrades, because they had no idea they were out of spec for log retention, email archiving, and data segmentation. Again, they needed to fix things beyond the base license. And, well, here's the good news. We help them right-size their cloud use, shift providers, and implement policy-aligned logging, all while saving over $9,000 in recurring spend. That's a lot. $9,000, that's going to pay some salaries. Not bad, huh? And we did it without forcing them into a one-size-fits-all compliant solution. They got to continue using their existing tech stack without compromise. We love virtual machines, but they aren't for everyone. They are for when the use case makes sense. Now again, you're going to hear me on this channel talk a ton about virtual machines. We love virtual machines. For a lot of people, it's a great solution, but it's not always the right solution. And so again, if you've got a provider that's forcing you into virtual machines, we just want to make sure that the use case actually makes sense. So again, really the question is your provider trying to shoehorn you into their compliant solution, or is your provider trying to actually help you, the company, get compliant in a way that's best for you? And that's really a big major difference between on-call and everybody else, and it's definitely the way I recommend you pursuing compliance. Focus on you. Here's the bottom line. If you're using cloud services in your CMMC compliance journey, do yourself a favor. Don't just look at the sticker price. We recommend working with a highly experienced compliance advisory like OnCall to get a holistic approach to solving this and reduce the financial gotchas as much as possible in order to ensure your compliance journey is a success. We want to look at log retention. We want to look at SIEM compatibility. We want to look at storage tiers. We want to look at the cloud solutions themselves. We want to look at licensing options. This one's so huge because it's per user, per machine, and it can get to be a big recurring expense forever, right? Once you choose those licenses, realistically, you're just going to say, order me another one. You're not really going to think about the license tier and how much it costs once you start growing. So it's worth expert help to get it right the first time. Again, we can provide you with licensing assistance. Just give us a call. It doesn't cost anything to find out how we can help. And what about FedRAMP status? We want to check on that. We want to make sure they actually have FedRAMP status or they've got documented equivalency. Cloud solution types and options? Well, there are many. And how it all fits into your CU environment. This might be the most important part. You've got to map out your CUI flow first, then figure out what solutions will help you to get compliant and match up to the way CUI is flowing in your organization. It can't be the other round. You can't select a compliant solution and then backwards fit it into how CUI is already flowing in your organization. It won't work well. There's going to be gaps if you do that. So if you're finding yourself in a position where you're trying to get it all figured out and don't want to get whacked with unnecessary fees and expenses and just ultimately need this solved, what I can tell you straight away from many of our clients' mouths is that it's worth investing in getting the help you need upfront from us so you can save a lot of time, money, and effort later. And to be honest with you, I'll tell you a big part of what we do is we take real thinking time with our clients. I feel like the term thinking time is something that is just so underrated. Sometimes instead of knee-jerk reaction to the idea that we have to get compliant, we just need a day or two or three to just sit down and actually think about this holistically. Do some thinking time. Actually have a plan and a solution holistically. It's huge, and it's something we're such a big fan of. It's the way our programs are designed because in the end, it saves you so much time and money. And ultimately, making your journey to compliance a lot shorter, a lot easier, and a lot less expensive. Thinking time. What a concept. Hey, that's what we're here for, to help you with that thinking time, and honestly, to help you in your compliance journey to get across the finish line. Hey, at OnCall, we take defense contractors just like you who have had this DFARS, NIST, CMMC, ITAR, and EAR information security compliance stuff dropped in their lap like a seagull on a sunny day. And we teach you how to level up and be a proper OnCall compliance hero for your company, eliminating gaps, gray areas, and getting this solved, all while showing you how to leverage compliance as your secret weapon to land more defense work with higher profit margins. Now that's what becoming an OnCall compliance hero can do for you. And if you're looking for more help getting compliant, our compliance experts are always on call for you. Visit cmmccompliancesecrets.com or check out the description below to get links to get help right now. I don't know, find links to get help right now, something like that. By the way, if you've never looked at one of our descriptions before, now's a good time. Go in there, hit the little down arrow, and check out all the really cool stuff that we link to in our descriptions. You'd be surprised at what you find. And if you love the content we're putting out here for you, help us out with a big thumbs up on that like button, or even better, smash the subscribe button to get the latest compliance content as soon as our compliance nerds roll it out. Until next compliance tip, my friends, stay safe and secure out there, and hit us in the comments below to let us know what you'd like to know more about when it comes to information security and compliance. And I'll see you on the next one.